Good evening, good morning, and of course good afternoon. Coop here. Welcome to the next part of my Ocarina of Time Randomiser Beginner's Guide. Last time we looked at getting a randomised seed setup. If you need help with this, be sure to check out the previous video on screen now. Now, before we get started, I'd personally recommend playing through the original game first. It will help you get a feel of the world, and also help you to understand how the game works and the reasons that we're visiting these locations. Also, it ensures that you don't get completely lost in an already confusing randomised world. So, what exactly is the aim of the randomiser, and why do we run it? Well, the answer is simple: to have fun. But no, seriously. Basically, a randomiser shuffles all the items we would need to beat the game, usually on a vanilla playthrough, into various locations throughout the world of Hyrule. The player must find these key items to defeat the final boss of the game in order to beat the seed. The key items required to beat a seed vary depending on the settings, but in general, assuming an open Ganon's Tower, there are 4 items required to beat the final boss, which are a fairy bow, magic, light arrows, and Ganon's boss key. Oh, and the Master Sword, I guess. Of course, it is often not as straightforward as finding just these items, and more items are often needed along the way. The aim of this guide is to give you an idea of the checks that are available to you immediately at the start of the game. What is a check, you ask? Well, it refers to a location where a randomised item can appear. Commonly, these will be a chest, a golden sculptura, or a business scrub. It can also be a static item or reward for certain side quests. Each of these checks will require no key items, so will always be ready for you to claim, no matter how unlucky you get. Right, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first thing you want to do is head over to Mido's house. His house should be the house that you can see immediately in front of you. There'll be a ring of rocks outside. It's dead easy to spot. We're just going to head on over to there. He's prepared 4 chests for us to get started with and left them lying in his living room. It's kind of thoughtful considering he's such a pain in the... Anyway, having stolen Mido's worldly possessions, from here you'll want to move on to find the Kokiri Sword. This is hidden in the little tunnel. For those of you familiar with the game, you'll just have to crawl through there, navigate a small path, and there'll be a chest waiting for you to collect, and inside there'll be, you guessed it, a blue rupee. You're going to get used to this, guys. Collect as many rupees as you can, because the next stop is going to be visiting the Kokiri shop. This will hopefully have a few items that we can purchase just to make our adventure and exploring a lot easier, and is really, really important early game. Now, an important bit on shops for you guys. The way this works is you'll have the randomised special items that you've set in your randomiser seed on the left-hand side of the shop, and these will usually be made very obvious by saying a special one-time only purchase use of text. On the right-hand side, you'll have random items that are within the vanilla game, but they won't be in their usual slots. So say you could have in the initial shop, you could have bombs, you could have arrows, you could have Hyrule Shield, it could be absolutely anything, but those will be repurchasable over time. So those are the items which you don't just get one purchase of. You might get lucky with some sweet items on the left, but never overlook the items on the right, because these can set you up in a really good stead for the rest of your seed if you can get some key items early on. The things that I'm sort of talking about here, guys, we are going to be looking in particular for Deku Shields, which will cost 40 rupees. Hylian Shields, which will cost 80 rupees, but usually you will get a discount on these because the game reads it as you having spoke to the guard and gives you an offer wherever you can find it, which is just awesome. Deku Nuts, probably looking most likely at the 5-piece for 15 at this stage because we don't want to blow all of our budget on Deku Nuts. And of course, Deku Sticks. Now, Deku Sticks are vitally important because these will act as our weapon before we find any sort of sword in the game. So if you have any rupees spare, guys, definitely pick these up. Do you know what doesn't cost any rupees? Liking this video. Shields are great for getting access to business scrubs, while Deku Sticks provide us with a weapon to attack enemies, namely Skulltulas, and in a pinch, Deku Scrubs. Deku Nuts are also a useful alternative for business scrubs, or for running away from shady characters in a dark alley. So remember, while the left may be tempting, don't forget your basic items on the right too. For For the purposes of this guide, I'll continue as if no items were useful, but remember those tips for later shops down the line too. With the shop checked, we can quickly check the Deku tree. It does mean awfully shuffling past Mido, whose house we burgled earlier. Sorry about that. Moving swiftly on, check the entrance to see what you get. Deku Tree is great here. It gives us a free couple of checks in a normal playthrough, so that would have been a great start if this had been a seed which we were actually playing through. We get a few checks early on. We would have to do a soft reset, but that's perfectly fine because we're already in Kokiri Forest anyway. Having checked the Deku Tree entrance, we can now leave the forest towards Hyrule. This gives us the Fairy Ocarina check too. And that's basically it for Kokiri for now. A quick dash across Hyrule towards Castletown should get you there before nightfall, topping up with rupees using the red rupees above the drawbridge trick as necessary. Ready to spend at Hyrule's world famous market. Having successfully made it to Hyrule Market before nightfall, the first place to go is the pot house. No link. In here, you'll want to roll against the backmost crate to reveal a gold Skulltula. Little known fact, you can actually defeat these using pots. Not rocks though, for some weird reason. One precision throw later, and you've got your first check. Epona song, nice! Now it's time to open the wallet again and check the shops. Remembering what we said earlier, we're looking for items of value, and can use the drawbridge strat to obtain as many rupees as we need. A wallet upgrade is handy, so I'd make a mental note of that for later. This second shop has a Deku Shield, which will be incredibly useful, so I'd buy this as soon as possible. Another thing to note is that this shop is selling Ico Arus, a lucrative item that you should all buy post-haste, with nothing sus to see at all. A fun little fact for you all. There are a total of 8 shops in Hyrule that follow this shop structure. We've seen 3 so far, but did you know that across these shops, one of the shops is always guaranteed to have either a Deku Shield, a Hyrule Shield, a Goron Tunic, and a Zora Tunic, somewhere in the world of Hyrule. It means you'll always be able to buy them back if you lose them, provided you remember where they are. After shopping, head on over to the shooting gallery. For some reason, the developers don't do a slingshot check here, so you can play this without even owning one for a mere 20 rupees. Thanks, Nintendo! Some sharp shooting later, and yes, I did first try it, and that's another check done. Next step is to head up towards Hyrule Castle, and talk to Malon to get the egg for Talon. There's also a Skulltula here in a nearby tree, which you can get if you have the resources, for example Deku Sticks, but rocks don't work. Seriously, why not? When night falls, head back into town, and it's time for everyone's favourite Ocarina of Time doggo, Richard! Guide the lost pup home and get a sweet check from his mama. Pop next door to the Bombchu shop for more shop checks. Seems almost vanilla. Now it's time to visit Zelda. This is pretty much a vanilla experience, so wake up Talon, sneak past the guards, and speak to the princess. Or, you know, get caught repeatedly. Speak to Impa, and she'll give you another item. Woohoo! Before we move on, be sure to go to the Happy Mask shop and pick up either the Skull Mask or the Mask of Truth, as this will help with a check much later on. Guys, don't buy the spooky mask. Don't. This was a mistake. It's finally time to meet the village people. Personally, Kakariko used to be one of my favourite places in the original Ocarina of Time, and it is no less awesome for randomizer checks either. Upon arriving in the village, the first thing you'll want to do is gather up a cuckoo. Maybe not that one. And get the item from the lady who looks like Anju from Majora's Mask. Hopefully you set your counter to 1, as then you will only need to find 1 cuckoo. If you didn't, I'm afraid you're going to have to gather all 7, but it is doable. Also, why does she wrangle cuckoos if she's allergic to cuckoos? I'm just saying. Next thing to check is the grotto that is behind the potion shop. Grab a cuckoo and fly over to find it. At this point, you might have stumbled across your first Sheikah stone. Fun fact about Sheikah Stones. Did you know that Sheikah Stones can give big clues to useful items hidden in the randomizer? If you speak to them, they might give you a nudge in the right direction. Sometimes though, they might just tell you something completely useless. Thanks, Sheikah Stone. With the grotto checked, we can start to head towards the tower in the middle of the village. At the top, you can side hop to shortcut to the guy on the roof to get the item. Disclaimer, I don't know if this is outside of logic, but if someone like me is able to do it, it should be okay to do it. You let me know. Oh crumbs, it was a good item. Hopefully it's not broken the logic. Head out of the village towards Death Mountain and wait for nighttime. This will enable us to check our night sculptures. You can also check the item above Dodongo's cavern entrance to see if it is an item which is worth grabbing for later. When night falls, head back into the village ASAP. We need to make sure it is early enough in the evening that Dampé is still awake. Firstly, we're going to clear all the available Skulltulas. There should be a total of 4. The first Skulltula should be within immediate sight of returning to the village, just on the back of this house here. Well-placed throws should provide us with a means to defeat the Skulltulas if we've been unlucky with items that we've found so far. There is a Skulltula hidden in this tree here. If we knock it down, we can use pots from a distant house to destroy it. Missing here is a little annoying, so try to be as accurate as you can.
So I missed.
Back we go. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, third time is the charm. There we go. There's also another Skulltula around the back of the Skulltula house. You can grab the pots from the higher level. I hate pots. I hate pots. Finally, the last Skulltula that you want to grab is on the construction zone. If we carry a pot all the way up the winding staircase, we should be able to destroy the Skulltula here with it and grab our last Skulltula check. Having cleared all the Skulltulas, we can move on to the graveyard. If we talk to Dampé at the first patch of soft soil, we should get the reward for another check. We can also move 2 graves. I don't know how Dampé's okay with this. There's one here, and then another one here. Pop into the grottos and see what goodies we have to find. With Kakariko cleared, we now have a few options. We can head to Lon Lon, we can go to Gerudo Valley, or even Kokiri Forest. However, at this point, you'll have a good feel as to how kind or harsh the randomizer is being in terms of generosity. I always like to review the items that I have and determine what I need most. If your luck has been very bad, you may not have found anything. And so I have a suggestion which I'm about to show you. I suggest that we go to Goron City. There is one reason for this. Deku Sticks. One of the key reasons I suggest this is because we're about to do various checks that require pots, sticks, nuts, or a shield. If luck has been truly horrible, you'll want these to open a few more. Head up Death Mountain and into the city itself. Once into the city, jump down to the big Goron jar at the bottom and locate the following pot. This contains the sacred Deku Stick. Now, to replenish, you'll need to exit Goron City and go back down to the pot again, and repeat this until you hold max Deku Sticks. It's a long process, but worth it in the long run. Whew, halfway there. I guess today is leg day. Feel the burn, Link. Feel the burn. Okay, surely we're there now. Oh my goodness, no, my poor legs. These stairs are the final boss, I swear. You can do this, Link. Come on. Come on, we can do this. Finally! Having successfully gathered the sticks and given your calves a proper workout, head back out the city. I'm never visiting this city again. Heal with the rocks outside. Each rock will give 3 hearts as a useful tip. And then use the simple following trick to grab the check above Dodongo's cavern. Your next step is Lon Lon, so head across Hyrule Field towards the ranch. Once at Lon Lon, enter the door to your left and talk to the ever-sleepy Talon. There's a prize for finding his 3 super cuckoos here. It's easy enough to do, they usually fly to different corners of the room, and you have 30 seconds of which to get this done. After beating the minigame and potentially agreeing to a future marriage, head back out and towards the back of the ranch. There's actually a lesser known grotto here, so check this in case there's some useful checks. Next you'll want to head on over to the barn tower thing. Give a little hay to the cow eating hay, and then solve the box puzzle to grab the item in there. With this acquired, leave the ranch with a nice speed boost from a friendly horse and wait until night. This is a perfect time to hear from our sponsor while we wait. Today's video is brought to you by Lon Lon Milk, Hyrule's premium and only dairy product of choice. Here at Lon Lon we produce only the finest quality goods. Head on down to the ranch today to see for yourself. We operate an environmentally friendly service here, so bring your own bottle and just quote today's code, LONLON98, to receive 5 rupees off your next purchase. Our milk is so nutritious you'll recover 5 hearts each visit to the bottle, and for a limited time, we'll give you 2 servings in a single bottle. So what are you waiting for? Pop down today! No Ocarina allowed on site, rule breakers will be chased by cuckoos. Once night falls, head back into the ranch and head to the single tree to knock down a Skulltula, and defeat it using a Deku Stick. You did get Deku Sticks, right? If not, worry not. There are pots here to use to defeat the Skulltula instead. Just need to be accurate. Even the cows are mocking me. With this collected, we can head on over to the back of the ranch again to defeat another Skulltula with a Deku Stick. Or grab a pot if you are pot gang. You want to get this pot throw right because the run is kinda long and... Are you serious? For goodness sake. Guys, honestly, just get the Deku Sticks. Just get the Deku Sticks, it will make your life so much easier. Anyway, with these grabbed, we can leave the ranch and head on over to Zora's River. There's a tree here that hides a Skulltula and another potential good item. This also gives us the perfect opportunity to revisit Hyrule Castle and pick up the gold Skulltula that we saw earlier. Next up, head across Hyrule to everyone's favourite area, Gerudo Valley. There are 2 checks for us to find here, and if we are skilled, we can get both in one fell swoop. Right guys, the plan. So, 2 things you need to know. We have 2 checks to get. First of all, there's a crate on the ledge located here. In this crate, there is an item. We also, to the right, have a waterfall, also with an item at the top. The problem. One is high up, and the second has water flowing away from the item. So, we need to make sure we don't lose our new best friend, MAGEE here, while we're getting the first item. Otherwise, we'll need to do the Walk of Shame back to Gerudo Valley from Lake Hylia. What we need to do, we need to fly over to the crate, throw the MAGEE to safety, grab the item quickly, save MAGEE before he abandons all reason and runs off the edge, and then fly to the platform that allows us to grab the waterfall item too. Timing is crucial, but you got this. Ready? Go! Well done, nice job. I'm assuming you all made it, right? Having successfully navigated the plan, let the river take you down to Lake Hylia, and from there, you've earned a break with a spot of fishing. Seriously though, this used to be one of my favourite spots in Hyrule, especially at sunset. Grab the rod from the fisherman and head to the left side of the pool. There's an £8 fish here that will allow us to get the item check, and cross another thing off the list. Remember to return the fishing rod. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I've tried to leave and get told off for it. With the fishing complete, we need to wait until nightfall, so if you have time to spare and an ocarina to hand, it's worth getting the Scarecrow song from Pierre the Scarecrow. Just here. Swim across to the fire arrow altar and defeat the Night Skulltula, and then head on over to the gravestone under the owl to reveal another grotto. Talk to the owl, be careful not to get swooped up. Just don't stand anywhere near him as he flies away, guys. And go into the grotto under the grave. At this point, I'm going to assume that you have Deku Sticks at the very least, or something to fight the business scrub, so I'm just going to show you a few little tricks of how you can defeat them without a shield. Deku Sticks, you just need to make sure you do a jump attack while they are not hidden in the ground, and Deku Nuts just stun them when you throw them at them and they're popped out of the ground. Genuinely at this point, I pray that you do not only have Deku Sticks. Go back out of the grotto and talk to the owl if you want him to walk you somewhere else. I'm going to do this. Okay, back at Market Town. Wait, the grotto! There's an open grotto by the entrance of Lake Hylia, here, which is worth checking as it may have scrubs or a chest, so be sure to check it out. Okay, at this point, head back to Kokiri Forest at night so we can gather a few final checks. There's a Skulltula here behind the brother's house that only appears at night, so it's worth grabbing this now while we remember. Our next port of call is to head on over to the Lost Woods, so we're going to climb the vines around the back of Mido's house to take us up to the Lost Woods. Guys, do you remember when Ganon was a blue pig? I remember. From the entrance, head left and follow the path to the end, which will reveal a Sheikah Stone and a business scrub, which hopefully will give us a good item. Retracing our steps to the entrance, we can navigate the woods to find a few more hidden items. For those of you unfamiliar with the pathing, the route to the Sacred Forest Meadow is as follows, and I'll put a little map on screen for you guys to see as well. What you want to do to make it all the way to the forest meadow is you want to go from the entrance right, left, straight, left, right. And this will get you to the Sacred Forest Meadow. But there is a secret location hidden here. If you go left in this section here instead of straight, a secret grove appears. This gives you 2 business scrubs and a hidden grotto. In the vanilla version, this specific grotto will be the mask grotto. So this is why I wanted to make sure that you guys picked up either the skull or the Mask of Truth mask to get the check. If you didn't, well, you can see. After this, head to the Sacred Forest Meadow. Defeat the Wolfos at the entrance. Pro tip, when the Wolfos turns around, 1 Deku Stick is enough to take it out in a single blow, saving on your resources. Wolfos take insane damage from the back. Navigate the mini labyrinth to reach Saria and see what item she's got for us. And also you can read the Sheikah Stone too if you want. One final grotto to check here. Just go back down the stairs, up the ladder, and drop into the grotto. Well guys, that's basically all the item-free checks as a child that I can think of right now. If I've missed anything, feel free to let me know in the comments. Hopefully you've managed to get some good items and this has given you a little intro of how is a good way to start your randomizers and give you the best possible chance of finding something good. Hopefully you've managed to find some good items to help you progress a little bit further in the game. We didn't do amazingly on this playthrough, but that's just the rando life. Let me know if you enjoyed this series, and if it's popular, I'll make more content like this for Adult Link, dungeons, item checks, and such like. For now though, take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.